Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Quick one from me, as Gareth Southgate has officially announced his England World Cup squad. Wilson is on the plane. Callum Wilson has made it the first time since 2006 that a Newcastle player will be representing the Three Lions at a World Cup. And it's not just Callum Wilson going from black and white, it's Nick Pope and it's Kieran Trippier as well. So three players from the Toon are going to Qatar for the World Cup. Happy days. Now, Gareth Southgate's squad thankfully includes James Maddison, who hopefully will become a Newcastle player in January. Or, soon enough, next January, next summer. Newcastle do still want to sign James Maddison. He is still on our radar, Leicester's Maddison. So hopefully we can get him in as well, because he's an absolute baller. And I'm surprised and pleased that Southgate has named him in his squad, because I thought he wasn't going to name him. He hadn't been in the last camp for England. He hasn't played for England for a couple of years, actually. Southgate didn't seem to like him, but he is going to be playing for England, or at least in the plane to the World Cup, which is good. He's a serious player, on serious form, probably playing better than any of the other forwards, really, other midfielders, maybe apart from Phil Foden. He had to go, he is going, that's good news. Conor Gallagher is a surprised one in there as well. And then you've got the likes of Connor Cody, who's been called up. Obviously, Harry Maguire's still going for Southgate, his favourites. But he's left out some big names in Tomori, who's doing very well in Serie A. He left out Tammy Abraham instead of Callum Wilson. Now, for me, that's the right choice. Abraham, I think, is a very good player, but he's not having a great season. He is... Right then, back. Had to take a phone call there, so I had to cut that one short. Then came out for some fresh air. Back in the car now. As I was saying, no Abraham is the right decision based on form. And that is what every player should be picked on for a World Cup in a major tournament, is form. Not what you've done a year ago, 2 years ago. If you held his hand in the Euros finals and the shootout, it doesn't matter now. It should be on form, on current play, on how many goals you're scoring. Abraham's having a crap season. It's 3 goals in 18 games in Serie A this season, something like that. He had a very good season last year. That's last year. What you doing now? Nout. So he's not in. And then obviously Ivan Toney's a big one. Now Toney, who is having a good season, who is scoring goals, is a very good penalty taker, which will come in handy at some point, no doubt. Isn't included. And you could say it's harsh on him, but at the same time, if it had to be someone, then it's not him that's been included. So Toney might feel hard done by. Well, he will feel hard done by, to be fair, when you think of his goal scoring record. But Rashford's been brought in. Obviously, he can play on the wing, and he's in pretty decent form at the minute. And Callum Wilson had to go. Will Callum Wilson even play? Probably maybe 10, 20 minutes here and there. Maybe if we're 3-0 up against Iran, he might come on. But Wilson's one of the best natural goal scorers in the Premier League. So it makes sense that he's there. I'm delighted that he's there. I'm glad that it's not that whole thing that it was for years, where because you were playing for Newcastle, you weren't getting picked, or you weren't playing for one of the top 6, you weren't getting picked. Then again, Newcastle are in the top 6 now. So that's why he's been picked, innit? Do you know what I mean? We're in the bracket now, so we'll fit the criteria. But I think with Wilson and Southgate, I'm glad he's picked him. Really glad he's picked him. Buzzing for Wilson that he's on the plane. Praying he stays fit and doesn't get injured out in Qatar. That would be a nightmare, even though it was just a training ground injury or something. Imagine that, and that derails our hopes of finishing top 4. Because I've seen people, top 6, whatever. Because I've seen people saying like, oh, I hope he doesn't go. I don't want Wilson to go. But nah, you can't be like that. You've got to be pleased for a player on a personal level. It would have been his dream growing up to play the World Cup for England, like any kid on the playground. So you've got to appreciate that. You've got to respect that. And I'm pleased for him that he's going. I think he deserves it, more than deserves it, to be honest. It's been a couple of years since he played for England, so he deserves his call-up, and he's rightfully got it. Now, even if he did get injured over there, we've got Isak, who isn't going with Sweden because he's injured. So, are Sweden even there? But he's not going anyways. So, I don't think they are, no. But anyways, Isak's going to be in Saudi Arabia, getting his pre-season part 2 underway, so he'll be fit, hopefully, come December, January, when Premier League football rolls back around. Then you look around the squad, like I said, I'm really, really glad he's chose Maddison in there. I think, Phillips, who's barely played, was a bit mad, but again, he's showing what he can do in an England shirt. Nick Pope, like I said, in goal. Will he be number 1? I think he'll stick with Pickford. I think he'll stick with his favourite Pickford for the World Cup. Dan Burn. Now, I've got to mention Dan Burn. I was calling for him for weeks. Mainstream media started calling for him. And for me, I think he should have went. You look at that team, I think he should have went. You've got Tomori, who hasn't made it. You've got Maguire still in there. You've got Luke Shaw still in there. I should have had the bit of paper with who else is in there. But you look around that defence, you look at the players that are in there. Dan Burn, who can play left back and centre back. I think he should have been in there. Dan Burn, for his versatility, for his form, he should have went. I think they missed a trick there with Dan Burn. I think they've missed a trick. I'm telling you, Dan Burn, he's in the best defence in the league. Where Newcastle still got the best defensive record in the Premier League this season. He should be in there. He's not in there. I think he should be. I think Burn should have went. But you look around, I mean, what else are people kicking up a fuss about who should have went? I mean, you look at some big names. Like I said, Jadon Sancho's not involved, but again, form, not doing well. Sancho's not involved. There's, you know, some big names that have been left out of Southgate's squad, but it's a 26-man squad. Yeah, I think there's some good balance in there. It's just the midfield isn't that great for me. Look like Henderson and that getting on. He hasn't been the best. Phillips, who's barely played. If Rice or Bellingham get injured, that's when I would start to worry, because I think the midfield's lacking. But going forward, we are so gifted with the likes of Saka, Foden, Grealish, Neil Miron, Maddison now being included. You know, Harry Kane obviously up front. If Sterling can get some form going like he normally does in a 3-line shirt. So there's a lot going forward. We're going to do plenty. I was just going to answer the question, can England win it? Gareth Southgate was asked that in the press conference. He kind of slid over it, as you'd expect. I'm going to do more World Cup content. Remember, I'm hosting at the World Cup fan zone at NX Newcastle. Me and Keith Downey will be there, so that'll be good. Tickets available for that. Check out the video on that. I'll put the tickets for the link in the description as well. I'll be doing loads of content around the World Cup when I'm at those fan zones, and the reactions to games, maybe a couple of previews and other stuff here and there. So stay tuned to Magpie Channel TV for that throughout the Winter World Cup, since we've got now else to talk about. Even though Newcastle going to Saudi Arabia, so any Newcastle United news will obviously still be covered. And Newcastle United wise, tonight, the Carabao Cup 4th round draw is after Manchester United versus Aston Villa. So 10 PM tonight, Carabao Cup draw live on the Magpie Channel. I'm going to be doing a live stream for that tonight. We'll maybe have some more reaction to the England squad in there as well, and get your comments in the chat and whatnot as well. Get involved in that. We'll have a bit of crack, and we'll see who Newcastle face in the next round. Hopefully a good draw for the Toon. As long as it's not Man City, I'll be happy with that. But that'll do, everyone. Cheers for watching. Drop your comments below about Southgate's decisions at the World Cup squad. Has he got it wrong? Has he got it right? I'm going to say he's got it right, more than got it wrong. I would like to see Dan Burn in there, maybe one of that player. But for me, the main thing was Wilson and Maddison. He's called them up. I think he's got them two things right. I really do. So those are the main things. You've got your stalwarts of Trippier, you know, and your Kanes and whatnot. So he's probably got it right. 90% right, maybe. Dan Burn should have been in there. Let us know what you think of that World Cup squad. Where will England finish? How far will they get? I'll do another video on that next week. Because remember, I absolutely nailed it for the last one, right? The Euros, you can go back and watch it. Before the Euros, I said we would get beat on penalties by Italy in the final. Mad shout that was, and I got it right. Mystic Matty, back again. Cheers for watching, everyone. Subscribe to Magpie Channel TV. Drop your comments below, and I'll see you tonight at 10 PM.